Hi, and welcome to Jules Voto's Photo Focus. Even though I still use film cameras on occasion, nothing beats the versatility of digital cameras, especially mirrorless digital cameras. One feature, for example, that my Nikon Z7 has is a choice of image area. I'm not stuck with just a 3:2 image ratio for the full frame image. I can also choose 5:4 image ratio, which scales up directly to 8:10, also 6:9 image ratio, and a 1:1 image ratio, which is a square format. In the last several years, many camera manufacturers have started offering the option of a square image area. The square format has a long history in film photography, dating back to the introduction of the Rolleiflex twin lens reflex of 1929, and that camera was the first of many medium format cameras over the years to produce a 2¼ by 2¼ square negative or transparency. 2¼ square TLRs such as the Rolleiflex, Mamiya, and Yashica, and others, as well as the Hasselblad, Bronica, Rolleiflex, and other SLRs became very popular with wedding and portrait photographers. Why? One big reason is that you don't need to turn the camera, like you do with a 35mm camera, to go from horizontal to vertical. You could leave your camera on a tripod in the studio, for example, and shoot portraits, and again, crop later to vertical or horizontal. You could also use a waist level finder and crop to vertical or horizontal later. I can use a waist level finder on my Nikon F, and it works fine for a horizontal photo, but try that with the vertical. Also, you can mount a flash high above the camera for candid wedding photographs and not have to flip the flash. Many images look great square, and for wedding pictures, a flush mounted wedding album where the picture is the page with no matte, they look great in 10:10 size. Now, those are all great reasons for a portrait photographer, but even better for a wedding photographer. But I no longer shoot weddings, so why am I so happy to have the option of square images with my digital cameras? Well, I view it as another tool in our photographer's toolbox, a very useful tool to be used to help us produce more interesting photos. I and many of you grew up with square pictures. The 3.5 by 3.5 pictures we got back from the photo finisher from our 126 Instamatic cameras, for example. Also, the album covers we remember from our favorite bands. One of the most famous, of course, is the Beatles' Abbey Road cover, and also compact disc covers. Now, Hasselblad had a publication in the early 80s called Square Composition. They gave examples of images that were shot square and what they may have looked like if shot horizontal or vertical. Here are a few examples from that publication. Now, let's look at some photos I shot with my Z6 set for the 1:1 image area with a 24-70 2.8 in Collingswood, New Jersey. The pixel dimensions are 4016 by 4016, and at 300 pixels per inch gives us an image size of 13.387 by 13.387 inches. So it was a rainy day, not hard, but a light rain, obviously no sun, and those are good conditions. I like those conditions for photography because you don't have to worry about shadows and bright sun, and your exposure is easier. And so I just walked around and took a bunch of shots. Of course, I was looking for square images. I was looking to illustrate this video. Now, this building here, it could have been shot with a 35mm camera horizontally, and this shot could have been vertical, but I would have had to have stepped back more, and in a vertical shot, I would have included more sky and more of the ground below. Same thing here. This could have worked vertical, but again, I just think in a lot of images, the square format works out great. Another illustration with this tree and the building in the background. And here's just another tree. I guess this could have been shot from further away, horizontal. Just like the square in this case. Now this is a church across the street from those buildings you just saw. And I shot a bunch of, I just liked the red door and the windows, so I shot some different angles. And again, I think this really looks nice in a square. Of course, it would have worked either horizontal or vertical, but just something different. You know, we're so used to seeing horizontal and vertical images, especially horizontal. A lot of people shoot a lot of horizontal and not too much vertical. But so this just gives us something else. And this house, I think, works out perfectly in the square format. And of course, a tree, you know, a bushy tree, a wide tree, looks great in a square. If this had been shot vertical, I would have had to have stepped back quite a bit. Now, getting in a little closer, I know I've been repeating myself, but I just love the square format. And I think this fire hydrant works great square. Now, when I'm doing something like this, I'll move around, I'll get closer, I'll try different angles. And this is just a slight variation of the last shot. And I noticed those flowers in the background. So after taking this photo, I just moved in and got a shot of the flowers. And these trees, these pink trees were in full bloom, and they don't last long. You get a windy day and most of the flowers are gone. So I tried to take advantage of that. And this would have looked better with a nice blue sky, of course. And this Canadian goose was, I guess, just walking on his way home. And this shot here, that is not a lake there. That is the parking lot with the puddles of water. Now, as I said, some images just work square, and a heart surely does. Looks really good in a square image. And these last few images here, again, that building. And I thought this next shot here would make a good ad for a car company. So I think shooting square gives us, as I said, another tool in our toolbox, another way to view the world. And I think I'm going to start shooting more of that. I shot a lot back in the day when I had a Hasselblad, and I really enjoy, as you know by now, the square image. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I come out with a new video every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.